Iron Man issue number 3. That's right, folks. The Roxxon Stark war is upon us still. It's kind of ending in this issue. Things are getting a little crazy. You know how it is. This book is so crazy. I don't know how to explain it, but it almost feels like parody of making fun of big business. But because we live in such a messed up climate where things are bad all the time and big corporations are terrible, and the little guy is killing the CEO of United Health, and we're all very excited about it. It doesn't feel like parody, rich billionaires getting their comeuppance for being stupid assholes. It should feel like parody, because it goes to extremes, but it doesn't feel like parody. It just feels like another day in the office. Man, it's clever. It's clever. So we open up this book, and big sworded Iron Man is fighting Living Laser, but the narration is telling us that the Roxxon and AIM merger is taking place at the Stark Industries offices. So maybe the Starkxon is going to be the new name of the big businesses. Tony uses a lot of his power, takes down Living Laser, and he flies into the Stark building, crashes through the window. He's like, Justine, before you buy this business, I'm going to say my piece, but I'm going to need to sit by an outlet. So Tony plugs his new suit into a bunch of wires and cords, and he's like, all right, I already spoke to some of you. You shook me off then, but the rest of you, you're here because Fei Long, a genocidal racist, brought you on, and I didn't want you here. Not looking good for the board. He's like, I don't think any of you are fully aware of what Roxxon and AIM are going to do with our company. We were really good at certain things. We stopped making weapons. We scaled up our zero emission energy. We were coming into a great area. We were doing good. And though I can't stop you from voting for a merger with people known for making weapons and Roxxon a bad company, I'll tell you this. If you vote for them, sooner or later, I'm going to stop you. And the board's like, wow, are you threatening us? Are you saying you're going to avenger us, Iron Man? He's like, not going to be like that. Just going to beat you. And Justine's like, okay, Tony, this might be difficult for you to understand, but I have some information from our silent partner that might make things, feel better. They have access to a higher plane of existence, so things are going to feel good. Druid communicates with them. He knows them through a distant land, and this merger is going to boast things up on a larger scale than you could ever imagine. We're going to scale things up in so many powerful and badass ways. And Tony is just that is ridiculous. It sounds crazy, and Tony's like, no one else is picking up on the red flags we're getting here. Justine literally said some magical entity who's a secret buyer from a foreign magical land is going to give us more power than we could ever possess. That's not a red flag for the board. And they're like, whatever. So it comes time for the vote. Only 2 people are against the vote. It's Tony and Melinda because she is an actual character. Everyone else is in support of the vote. And they're like, Starkxon, Starkxon, Starkxon. Yeah, we're doing it. Yay. It's great. So Tony's like, whatever. I'm done. I'm going to sue your asses. I'll see you all in court. But as Tony tries to leave, you see that Justine is like, where do you think you're going? Take off your armor. That's property of Roxxon and Starkxon now. And he's like, no, I don't think I've been making myself clear. I'm not doing this. I'm not settling with, okay? We're going to have something happen. It's working so good for everybody. That's when, instead of actually getting Tony to take his armor off, we Ironmonger out and have a big Ironmonger fight outside in the streets of New York. Big fight. And Ironmonger is just destroying everybody. Just destroying things. She's throwing a car at Tony, and Tony catches it, and they're like, oh my goodness, Tony, thank you, Iron Man. I'm praying for you. I've said this before. Making Tony the champion of the oppressed in terms of big business is how you make this character relevant today, because we don't want to see a billionaire succeed. We want to see all the assholes who are rich get their comeuppance. If Tony's going to be a character we're still rooting for, we have to change it. It's crazy to say, but I don't think if you made the very specific 2008 Iron Man movie today, you would have to change so much about that character so there is not the Elon Musk is a hero comparisons being made. And I think doing this with Tony, where he's like, well, somebody who literally stole my business and wants to like own the property I built is trying to kill me and innocents in the streets. Time to use my big sword. So he electrocutes Ironmonger. The citizens are like, wow, is Tony like an anime fan? That's pretty cool. Doesn't kill Ironmonger, but charges up enough power to kind of defeat them again. The suit comes down, and Justine's like, you idiot. This is everything I want. I'm going to be sitting on the desk again. It's going to be good. Like, it's fine. And she's like, whatever. You know, you've accomplished nothing here. But Druid's like, hey, so the silent partner that we're working with, they summon us to the board, and then we enter limbo. we go to limbo, because, yeah, like, what else? And Belasco, who is, like, a demon in limbo, is, like, working for, like, the secret backer. He's like, hello, take a seat at the table. We'll figure all this out. All right, so it's so clever. It's so on the nose where I'm like, oh, it's satire. It's clearly satire, but the board of directors are just, like, understanding that they should hail the Ironmonger. Everyone's just on board for, like, a demon being like, yeah, I speak for the backer. Why don't you all sit at this table? We'll talk about the current situation. And Melinda starts freaking out. She pulls out a gun ready to, like, kill people, but Tony's like, no, stop, don't. You're not going to do things this way. If we're going to win this fight, it can't be through guns. It can't be through force like this. There's another battle that we have to win. So she stops. She's not going to kill anybody. Everyone's just, like, freaking out, like, hey, look, we're going to, like, change the world. It's so good. We have, like, magical, mystical power that's going to help us. It's awesome. All because Justine Ironmonger Hammer is going to work with us. It's so great. It's so great. And then this is where I'm like, oh, see, this is why Tony's great. This is how you should write the character. Everyone's like, cool, so the deal's going to go through. We're working with, like, a mysterious force from Limbo. It's all going good, but Tony's like, scale. They're like, what? He's like, scale. That's why it's not going to work. Belasco's like, what are you talking about, scale? Like, no, the deal's already struck. Justine's like, yeah, we're good. Stark's on, it's happening. He's like, I'm just looking at the fundamentals here, okay? You have achieved something amazing. Like, you've got all these powers together and everything going to go into big production to solve huge problems. You might be able to stop, like, Avengers level problems. Even somebody like me, you might be able to stop. But you're about to dominate energy markets and arms races and soul poisoning markets. You're going to make, like, yourself a global threat. Stark's on is going to become a global threat now. And I stop global threats. And the Avengers stop global threats. And if you, Belasco, want to take, like, some information to your clients that you're working with and tell them the truth, you can see that Roxxon and AIM, hell, even Stark, they always lose to people like me. They always lose to Avenger stuff. And then Belasco's like, wait, is this true? And Druid's like, yeah, I'll show you, like, the times the Iron Man and the Mighty Avengers defeated them. And he's like, oh, shit. I'm not going to get my commission. And he's like, yeah. Just keep showing, like, the times that, like, Roxxon and AIM have failed. Because they always fail to guys like me who beat them up and show that they're corrupt and bad. And Belasco's like, this isn't good. The exalted ones, no, they don't want the support. They withdraw their support. The deal is void. They're like, what? Yeah, no worry. It's done. Like, we're not doing this project. You're not going to get your soul poisons now. Like, everything is done. My backers, they don't want to work for this now because they're seeing the truth. Iron Man is going to defeat you. That is correct. Iron Man, you're free to go. Ironmonger, you're free to go. But everyone who misled them, thinking that, like, this was a good acquisition, all the board members, you can't leave. Your soul now belongs to my leaders. So they're like, what? What? And all, like, these idiots were like, yeah, we're going to make lots of money. They're now stuck in limbo and their soul's owned to a devil. And Tony's like, all right, we have, like, 60 seconds while a deal's on the table. So here's what's going to happen. Everyone who's on the Stark board, you are going to divest your Stark holdings. You're going to sign them over to me, and you're going to immediately resign from the company. And every titlement that you gave to Justine that she stole from me, you're going to give back to me. And Belasco's like, that works? And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, everything is crazy. He's like, yeah, too bad. You have 30 seconds to resign, or you're going to be stuck in limbo, and your soul's going to be consumed by this devil guy. Everyone agrees to do it. Every single one of them agrees to do it. All the magic that Justine had is no longer a part of her. It's like withdrawn from her. There's no more magical entity that's controlling the Ironmonger. Tony now has full possession of his company, and he just saved the day being like, I'm going to beat you. Just look at Iron Man books. It's an Iron Man book. I'm going to Iron Man your ass out of here. And it worked, which I think is kind of funny. I like it. So he saved their lives just being like, you're assholes. I could have left you here, but grow up. You're alive. Fight another day. Be gone with me. So we head back to New York City, and it's Tony and Justine, and then Druid shows up. He's like, well, I'm going to return your board members home, and bye. I guess I'm out of the book now. The magic plot's over. Justine's like, I can't believe you did that. It's like, it just happens. Enjoy your second life, Justine. Like, you're here for a reason. Go do something with it. She's like, who cares? Everything sucks. I'm going to give you this amulet. Congratulations, you're a terrible person. You won, but you suck. You're the Ironmonger now. Be gone of me, Tony. You freak. That's where the book ends. Tony witted his way through, like, literal limbo and proved that a merger of a big corporation with another big corporation is harmful to people. All through a guy who's anti-magic having to fight magic. It's really funny. I'm sorry, I dig it. I am digging it. Like, this book is just continuing to go in different directions than I was expecting, and that's so much fun to read about, so much fun to see. It's really creative. I really dig it. Spencer Ackerman, you are doing something fun here. It's not expected from Tony Stark or Iron Man at all, but I kind of dig it. I really like what we're going for. So, Iron Man issue number 3, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.